Muscular endurance is kind of exactly what it says on the tin. It's endurance of your muscles. So it's the foundation to muscular strength. So it will give you a basic muscular strength as well. It will also start to condition your muscles for heavier loads. So when we talk about muscular endurance, we're generally talking about 12 reps. When we talk about muscular strength, we're talking about 6 reps. So what you can lift for 6 reps will be a lot heavier than what you can lift for 12 reps. So you would build that basic muscular conditioning, which is muscular endurance. That will then start to turn into a strength endurance, because as you do more of it, your muscles will condition, and then you'll be able to lift heavier weights. So there will be a strength gain to it, but there will also be a endurance gain to it and a conditioning gain to it. Now, what's important at this level is practicing the movements, if you will. So you're going to choose very similar exercises for muscular endurance that you will at strength, muscular strength. But you also want to build, like with the core, you just need to build a general sort of muscular endurance. Because what that's going to do, that's going to help build the whole of the body. And then when we go for muscular strength, we aren't necessarily training the movements. We just want that stimulus of the strength. Whereas at the moment, what we're trying to do is build the foundation. So muscular strength, we would use exercises like a Romanian deadlift, not necessarily a full deadlift, because we may not have the joint range of movement. So we're building the joint range of movement, we're building the core. We're building the muscular endurance with similar exercises like a Romanian deadlift, like a shoulder press, like a rowing movement or a pulling movement. So a row would be, you pull it towards you. A pulling movement, again, you would pull it towards you, you would pull up, whatever it needs, or pull down, or whatever it needs to be. This will cover a lot of the major muscles of the body. You can go into squatting as well, lunging, lots of different exercises to build that. But you would do that at a lighter weight with roughly 12 reps. As your body then conditions to it, you could probably go up slightly on a weight. And then what you're doing is you're now setting the stage to be able to do strength training. And making that jump requires a solid foundation, because as I've said before, if we jump straight into it, there's potentially going to be muscular or joint problems that can occur. So what we're essentially doing, you've all probably heard the phrase, jumping in at the deep end. That's what we don't want to do with strength training, because that can send our body into panic, aches, pains, and greater risk of injury. What we need to be able to do, if we take that metaphor or analogy of a swimming pool and jumping in at the deep end, what we need to do is we need to walk into the shallow end, down the steps, and we then need to get used to being in the shallow end of the pool, and then we can move into the middle of the pool, and then we can move to the deep end of the pool. And the strength training is the deep end. But building the core, as we've talked about, building the joint range of movement as well, that's going to allow us to be able to perform these movements. Then we layer on top muscular endurance. We're starting now to move into that middle part of the pool, ready for the strength training when we come to it. And just one thing on the strength training, we would do this again either for a period of time, or it would be mixed in with the muscular endurance. So if we solely did strength training, certainly when we're starting out, we may only do 6 to 8 weeks to start with. Then we would go back to a muscular endurance, just to allow the body some downtime, a little bit easier training, an opportunity to recover. And then we would go back from the endurance back into the strength training. And then the more conditioned we get to strength training, the longer we can stay there. The other option is we maintain doing the muscular endurance and we just wrap in the muscular strength training. So that will allow, because we're doing it through the session, so we may just do 2 exercises in session number 1 and 2 exercises in session number 2 of strength training. That will allow us to do it over a prolonged period of time. So that might be 12 to 16 weeks, and then we might change the training. So we have to think about it in these little periods as well. It's not just this one workout and this is what I do for the rest of my life. It's about understanding the nuances and being able to adapt to the training to manage recovery, because if we do everything perfectly, so if we've got the correct range of movement, if we've got good core strength, and we've got good muscular endurance, so we've built that foundation, if we've got all of that, if we just do too much exercise at too high an intensity, then we can cause problems on its own. So we're doing everything perfectly. The only thing we're not doing perfectly is we're just doing too much of it. The body will eventually wear itself down. So what we have to do is be able to manage that, which is why we would do it in periods. But now what I'll talk about is like the final component, if you will. It's not necessarily a stage, but it's a component. And we'll talk about the movement and the exercises to master when it comes to strength training.